life. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm pretty much content with just rhyming all day.
Or Digital can instantly share pictures.
I can start. Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show. You know what it is? Hey, Ham Solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn out we do. Hey. They said we said we lit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you Red Fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Cause you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we hit. They said we on. They said we strong. They said we go.
And salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another installment of Everything Plus Gaming on TSWS Gaming. I'm Loke7, and joining me today is actually not Mr. Ham Solo. Ham will be joining us later, but today it's me and the man himself, Mr. Taye Talks.
Hey, what's up?
With the
Good evening, everyone.
With the killer edits on Twitter, channels popping a little bit. Things are happening. Mr. Taye, how you doing? And what have you been playing?
I'm good. I've been having a good time with Metaphor. Progressing slowly. You know when people say that the industry they're not really competing with each other. It's not Sony versus Xbox. It's Sony versus Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these things. Like it's very, very true. Because I started watching For All Mankind, and I was also watching Silo. And whenever I'm watching these TV shows, I do not touch games at all. Like when I'm done these TV shows, I just go straight to bed. So the competition is real.
Speaking of TV shows, I actually started watching Shogun.
Oh,
yeah, because I finished watching Penguin, then I recently started watching Shogun. I've done the first two episodes.
What do you think so far?
I can see it. I can see why people are like, "Yo, this thing is special." I can see why people got emotional. I know it's just two episodes, but proper quality in that show, and I can see myself having a lot of fun with it. The problem is, oh man, so many games to play, and I still have to finish. Not finish, but I still have to 100% Elden Ring before the end of the year. Otherwise, Ham Solo is gonna be trolling me. So I don't need that kind of I don't need those types of problems in my life.
Here's a quick hot take. Do you think if Elden Ring wasn't difficult, because I posted something on Reddit and for people's gaming hot takes, and a guy said that the only reason why Elden Ring is good or special, he said, is because of the difficulty. And he said if you actually remove the difficulty, the game is very bland. And that seems wild to me. Like, so what's your take?
I think that's bullshit because Elden Ring, pardon my French, is actually not hard. Elden Ring is not hard. It just doesn't hold your hand. That's the only in my opinion, that's the only difference between Elden Ring and most games. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you what to do. It doesn't I don't know how to add on top of it doesn't hold your hand. That's what makes Elden Ring special, in my opinion. It's
Mhm.
not the difficulty, because difficulty, you can find difficulty in other games, dude. You can crank the difficulty up in any almost any game that exists. You can crank it up, and then it'll become as challenging, and some of them more challenging. Dude, Lords of the Fallen, right,
Mhm.
followed the exact Elden Ring template. If that theory held any ground, if that theory made any sense, Lords of the Fallen would have been a banger. But the first one was mid and was treated as such. The second one, same difference. As well as so many other Dark Souls clones that have come out in all these years, and they still don't hit that sweet spot. So no,
Okay.
I reject
Mhm.
that theory. And there's too much evidence on the internet to prove exactly what I'm saying. That there's no such thing as, oh, it's just because it's difficult. That's why people like it. No. Many people have
Yeah,
tried
I
to
think I would
copy and
agree with
paste
that.
that. Yeah. Big Mad Mo, welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, as far as games that I've been playing, Cyberpunk, and weirdly so, Starfield.
Starfield, nice.
Man. And it's funny because I'm always shitting on it, right?
Mm.
But I'm having a lot of fun with Starfield, like a lot of fun.
I think when you get into the groove of Starfield, like there's a really good game there. Like there just is, and it just depends on what you're kind of expecting. But I do find myself occasionally thinking about like going back to the game again and just playing and just exploring. Um, I, One thing that I give it so much credit for is just the graphics. I think the environmental graphics, like when you walk
Yeah,
building and you go to someone's like locker and there's just mess, it just feels so real. Like they did a really great job at that. The whole NASA Pocket aesthetic is great. It's freaking fantastic. So like even you just saying Starfield right there, a part of me got triggered. Like yeah, let me check out this game and see what the story is. So yeah, dope game for sure.
yeah, yeah. A Big Mad Mo. We haven't decided on what we're hating yet. Uh, Clearly today I can't be a hypocrite to the point. Well, I might just become a hypocrite to that point where I'm saying that I can't stop playing Starfield, but then I start I start shitting on it during the same episode. That might be possible. I don't know, but so far we still haven't found something to be hating on. Uh, but yeah, as far as Starfield's concerned, I really like the game, um, and I only give it as much shit as I do because I like it. Does that make any sense? It's like you know when you don't care about something, it's like, oh, it's bad. Oh, I don't care, dog. Whatever. You just keep it pushing because you don't really care about it. But it's like when you're invested in something, that's when you take the time to critique it, and you're upset that it failed at XYZ. Does that make any sense?
No, it does. Like for sure. I think the like for me, I think even the first time I came on your podcast, I think I might have said my biggest disappointment was Starfield because I had such high expectations for the game. I expected a 10 out of 10, a game that I would that would shake the RPG landscape, and it didn't do that at all. However, I think some people they look at that disappointment and then they factor that into their review. So instead of
They
the game,
overdid it.
yeah, exactly. So now the
Yeah.
game is a 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 because they hype themselves up. Whereas to me, I'm like, listen, you know what? Taking away my expectation, the game's an 8 out of 10. It's a solid, it's a good game. Like it's a anyone who says it's
Yeah.
a bad game is lying. It's not a bad game. It's a good game.
And no one wants to say that. No one wants to say that. You know what? It. The truth is, we all, most of us took a week off work. Some of us sent our spouses away, our kids away. Our expectations were this is going to be one of the greatest games of all time. Day one. That's what we all expected. And now that I'm playing it, and there's all these quality of life things that have been added, including the vehicle, uh, stash stash sorting, and even like being able to consume stuff when you look at it instead of having to put it in your backpack. And then all these little things that have been added, in my opinion, have brought the game to like a 9 right now. In my opinion, we all thought it was going to be that and a whole lot more day one. And when it didn't hit that point, we put our emotions into it, and we're like, no, since you're not the greatest thing that's ever been made, you're now horrible. And that's what messed up the whole like discussion around it. Yes, Big Mad Mo, just like your Raiders, I crap on Starfield because I actually like it. The most Xbox hyped games on the his W was Redfall. Uh, I don't know about that, Rachie. I don't know about that. Big Mad Mo, I never take off work for a video game ever. You know what? I did. I did. Ty, what's the craziest thing you ever did to make sure that you had like 12 or 24 hours to play a video game?
I don't think I've taken off work, but I'm not against the idea because, if you have pending holidays and you have to take them off at some point, well, why don't you take them off to play the game that you that you want to play, the game that you love or whatever it is? So, I don't think that there's a problem there. I think with Starfield, I think I was already off anyway when it came out because I know I was in London. Like I was playing the game
Mm.
in London, so I think I was already off. I just happened to be off, but if I wasn't off, I probably would have taken maybe 2 days off. Yeah, for sure. Makes sense.
All right. Matt says, welcome in, Matt Likes Games. Says, tons of fun games this year, but indie is definitely the most fun I've played. Matt, I'm sending you the link right now. Get your ass in here. I want to hear your thoughts on this right on the channel. I'm sending it to the TSWS group, Matt. Um, so let's get into it. Right off the bat, have you played Indiana Jones?
No, I haven't. I've seen a lot about it. There's a lot of praise. I think the
Mm,
score is actually higher than what I thought it would be. I thought Metacritic wise, it might be maybe an 84, 83, but I think it's around 85, 86, or 87 at this point now.
mm-hmm,
So this is a huge win. One of the things that really caught my attention about the game was the description Ryan McCaffrey said, which is it feels like an adventure action game, which to me is a bit of a callback towards Peter Jackson's King Kong, which came out on the PS2 and Xbox. That game
mm,
was special. It was adventure game. It was an adventure game, but then you have these action elements where you're fighting these dinosaurs or what? Sorry, these scorpions or whatever. So I really get the vibe from this. I'm happy everyone likes it, and I think it's good for Xbox. One thing I always said is that after all these influx of people coming to Game Pass, and they've subbed, you need consistent games to kind of keep them attached. And I think Flight Simulator did that. I think Stalker 2 probably did that as well. And now this is a consistent quality games after quality games. So it's a win for them. Will I play this game at some point? Yes, I will. Because it seems like something that I can actually have fun with.
mm-hmm.
However, there's too many good games right now to even consider it. I need to finish Metaphor. I need to play Cyberpunk. However, I am considering playing Indiana Jones before Cyberpunk because I think Indiana Jones is a game that I could finish in maybe a couple of hours, like maybe 15 or 16. Whereas Cyberpunk is a game that's going to take me probably, I don't know, 50 or so.
Okay.
And you? Have you checked it out?
I've played about 2 hours,
What do
and
you think?
yeah, yeah. Um, and this is the weird thing about this whole conversation, right? Because it's not really for me. Like I can objectively say I'm not a big fan of the game. I can say I'm not a big fan of the game, but I can see why a lot of people are in love with it, because from the little that I've seen, and Matt, I'll get you in. I'll get you in here right. Just now, I'm just sorting out the our avatars. Um, from the little that I've seen, it it looks it does actually look amazing. It looks like if this is your jam, if you like action adventure games in that perspective or whatever, then yeah, this is going to be a certified banger for you. Um, it's just not my style of game. You know how you can look at Tekken, for example, and you're not a fighting game type of person, but you can still be like, you know what, it's not for me, but I can see how this would be a proper banger in its genre. That's how I see Indiana Jones. But Matt's here with us. Matt, how are you doing? What have you been playing? And what are your thoughts on Indiana Jones?
Dude, I'm doing excellent, buddy. I'm doing splendid.
Update your
Uh,
avatar as you tell us why you're doing splendid.
oh, is it not updated? Why is it grayed out on my end?
That's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Update it.
let's see. Yeah, so I'm doing great. What am I playing? I mean, what what do we what do we
What
think?
are we doing?
I'm playing. Uh, I'm playing Indiana Jones. Like
Yo, Kathy,
literally.
welcome.
Literally playing it right now. I'm not doing any stories. I'm mostly just kind of exploring right now. But
Which is what I
dude,
ended up doing as well.
dude, I've been playing. I mean, obviously I slept and I took a break to eat lunch. But like, I've been playing this since like 8:30 last night. Like
How many
any
hours is
any
that?
any free time I've had has been playing this outside of sleeping. I don't know how many hours that is. I can check on on Xbox. But dude, I love this game. This is probably what's sad about this game is the fact that this is probably the closest we'll ever get to Dishonored 3. Um,
Yeah.
but what's awesome is that it feels like Dishonored. And there's I feel like in the last I don't know since Dishonored 2, that was like 2015 or 16, I think. Since then, there's been a lot of games where I hear journalists, reviewers, and whatever say, "Oh, if you like Dishonored, you'll love this." And then it's no shade to those games, but I play them, and I'm like, I guess I can kind of see why you would say that, but that's not what this is.
Mm.
Versus Indiana Jones. When I heard that, I was like, okay, here we go again. They're gonna tell me it's like my favorite fucking game ever, and then I'm gonna play it,
Again.
and it's not gonna be like it. I already know this drill, and I'm playing it right now, and it is literally like Dishonored. It's fantastic. Like this is the most fun I've had with a game, and I keep in mind, like I said, I haven't done any main story stuff other than the main story things you need to do to get to the first area,
Yeah.
which is like maybe an hour of actual main story stuff. Probably less than that, actually. Once I got to the first main area, I just started exploring. I'm just I'm just knocking people out. I'm just going like I'll pick up anything and just beat people with it.
Yeah.
It's it's incredible. That's my gameplay experience so far. Indiana Jones is climbing stuff and beating people with like frying pans and broomsticks and shit. It's amazing.
All right. All right. Let's get. Sorry. Go ahead. No. 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 Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mhm. Oh yeah, sure,
Oh, shut the fuck up. No, no. Dude,
sure.
if there's no red line and they're putting all of their games everywhere, it doesn't matter whether they're going to do sequels for someone else's IP. No, stop it. Stop it.
They'll do a sequel.
Either they care about controlling their IP or they don't. We need to be consistent. Yeah. No, you get Jez's point of view, dude.
I,
Because
I
Microsoft did not officially say that. Microsoft did not officially say this. What Microsoft did, what they actually did, was ink the deal with Disney and put the money in front of Disney. All right. So what we have here is the actions of Microsoft proving that you know what they are actually making money off of this thing, right? And then we have me, you, and Jez postulating about potential losses that Microsoft could have if they have to make a sequel. That's what we
they're
have. Let's be
they're
very
making
clear
a
about this. We don't have anything from Microsoft in terms of no, 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 I'm not even talking about statements. I'm talking about behavior. When you look at their behavior, there's nothing from what they've done as far as Indiana Jones is concerned that shows that maybe they're not interested in a sequel.
they're making a sequel. No, I said I'm just they're making a sequel. There's no way they're not going to make a sequel to this. The only
Hello?
way. Hello, can you hear me?
No, no, I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay. So like, there's absolutely no way they're making a sequel. The only way they don't make a sequel to this is if, I mean, for whatever reason, it doesn't meet whatever that number in their contract is to for Disney to want a sequel. But given the reception to the game, I can't imagine they're not going to be doing a sequel. It
But
just
what
makes too much sense.
but what do you guys
That,
think is the metric? That's my question. Okay, now
what do you
let's
mean?
guess, right? Okay, hold on. Before we get into the metrics, I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Xbox International, welcome in. Crazy Louis, Carl Classic Cage, welcome Louis. Cage, if y'all want to hop on, just say something in the chat. I will send you a link as well. Rachie says the most hyped Xbox game was Redfall. We were in
No,
Sahara
it
Desert
wasn't.
asking for water for. Come on,
No, it wasn't.
come on.
I was so hyped for Redfall, but no, it wasn't.
Cult
It
Classic
was.
Kate says she's not into stealth or puzzle games, but the game objectively looks good and seems to be solid representation. Shout out to Machine Game. I'm with Cult Classic Cage here, and I feel like a lot of gamers need to get our feelings out of how we look at games. We should be able to look at something and be like, "That's not my jam," but bro, objectively, that's quality. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's been a lot of salt around Indiana Jones because it's Xbox, and we're used to Xbox falling flat on their face or falling halfway on their face or whatever. And now they have a legit bang. Like if this thing had come out earlier, we're
Dude,
looking at a potential game of the year contender.
if this comes out early, like if this came out earlier, this would be an up for game of the year. This, I mean, and if it's not, then I don't know what we're doing here because this is the most fun game I've played this year. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Plus, dude, also they probably would have what's his name? Troy Baker would have almost certainly won Best Performance. Because I've the little story I've played so far, he's crushing. He's fucking crushing Indiana Jones.
All right. All right. Big Mad Mo never change says you are right, Loke. It's not your style of game because it doesn't play for you. Never change, Big Mad Mo. Mo is also back on TFD. Got its hooks in him. Sour Blow, welcome. Climbing, beating, broomsticks sounds like a Diddy party.
Dude, it's a wild part.
Matt, all right. Jax82 says he can't hear anybody. Audio gone. What? Guys, hold on. Sour Blow also says that he can't hear us. What's happening? The audio goes everywhere so often. Look. What? Yeah. Hold on. Matt, can you say something?
Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Y'all should be able to hear Matt, but let me put
Big-
Ty back on here.
Sour
'cause-
Blow says audio's good now.
All right. Yeah, but let me add Ty because Ty, I know for a fact that Ty was not audible because of the offline symbol. All right, Ty, say something.
Can you guys hear me now?
All right. I think you're good.
That's the
Catch those Z's, Cassie. Catch those Z's. Go to bed. You know, sleeping is important for muscle growth. It's very important. All right. So, we were about to get into the metrics.
Well, hold up. Just before you get into the metrics, there is 2
Okay.
points about the Indiana Jones comments. The first one is the reason why remember the reason Marvel actually went to Xbox and said, "Hey, listen, do you guys want to license our IPs?" This was all the way back in the day, and Xbox said, "No, we want to just work on our own projects or whatever it is, right?" So then that's how Sony got the Marvel the Spider-Man IP.
Mhm.
Next up, Phil Spencer said to Stephen Totillo that he says, "I'm not the biggest fan of making licensed games. It creates some complexities for us when we think about putting it on a subscription service or streaming it. We've seen it with racing games that have to get delisted because you lose certain licenses. So I'm always very careful. If we're going to take on a license, that we're doing it for creative reasons, that the team has a goal around that they want to do." So I just say this to for context, that from a business perspective, there is some complexities, because I think even right now, even though Activision Blizzard made some of the Spider-Man games, I think Xbox has to talk to Disney in relation to putting it on Game Pass, right?
They might.
So to that,
Or
I
even
would
the
say
Transformer games.
it doesn't matter what you say, Ty. It's what you do. You can come here. You can come on TSWS and say that you hate coming on TSWS. Pause. But if every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're on TSWS, what matters? What is real?
hmm
I mean, I see
mean-
that. I would argue that, like, I think Indiana Jones 2 will be made, because this seems like machine games probably biggest game, right? From a financial point of view, I don't know if Disney's taking a large cut, and you could even argue to an extent, right, that even though they signed a deal with Marvel in relation to keeping this game, on Xbox and Game Pass as an exclusive, due to the terms of that contract, they probably had to give Disney a lot of cash for that to happen. And they're thinking, hey, listen, that's a lot of money. We actually have to recoup that. And that is probably the reason why we're seeing Indiana Jones coming out on PlayStation in 3 months. Because at some point they're thinking, yeah, this wasn't probably worth it. So I think licensing games does, as good as they are, they do cause financial problems. And EA said it recently that the reason why they canceled the Star Wars games, and they said, like, we don't want to work on licensed games that much anymore, because what's the point in where we can make a Battlefield, where we can make a Titanfall, where we can make our own projects that gives us 100% control and profit, and then we're taking these licensed IP games and then we're giving 20% or whatever it is to these other individuals. I think with Baldur's Gate 3, Hasbro made like 90 million of that game. They did nothing. They just gave them here's the IP for Baldur's Gate. Here's the name. Now you make the game and you take all that risk. And they made like 100 million just off that. So I could see why publishers are a bit more reluctant
I don't think
to
they're
take that risk.
reluctant. No, no. By that argument, we wouldn't have De Beers and all these other mining companies going into African countries looking to either start or even just manage their companies and their mining operations during civil wars. Dude, everything in life it needs risk and effort. Everything. There's nothing of value that you can acquire in this universe, at least, without risk and effort. So when you say this, for me, it's like, dude, come on, man. Anything, everything requires the risk and the effort. If there was no money to be made, Xbox wouldn't have licensed it, PlayStation wouldn't have licensed it, Nintendo wouldn't have licensed it, and this IP would be dormant and no one would be touching it. In my opinion, there's nothing to be worried about because there's money to be made. And one thing that I always trust is human greed. There'll always be someone to sort this out. Don't worry. Don't worry, Ty. Xbox will green light the sequel and the sequel after that and the sequel after that until they release a sequel and then no one plays it. But as long as this keeps getting nines, as long as people keep playing it on Game Pass, as long as people keep buying it on PlayStation and PC, they'll keep paying for the license. It doesn't matter how much they have to pay. They'll keep paying because they're going to make their money back until they stop making their money back. Matt, who's
Yeah.
crazy? Me or Ty?
This is crazy. I didn't say any.
Who's wrong? Who's wrong? Then?
Speak the truth, Matt.
I mean, I kind of agree with Floke because it's just like the success of this game was seemingly. Again, we don't know any numbers of what it sold in the first however many hours. We don't know any of that, but like seemingly, the success of this game should be enough to get Microsoft's attention. I mean, also look at the fact that they're doing Blade as well. Like Blade is another game that is licensed that came after the acquisition. So that was something that Microsoft willingly signed on to for Arcane to make that game because Arcane was making Deathloop and then put out Deathloop and then they started their work on Blade. So there's that as well. I just think a sequel is kind of just mutually beneficial for both Xbox and Disney because first of all, Indiana Jones. I'm not the biggest fan of Indiana Jones. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am and like I watched all the movies because I absolutely haven't. But from what I know from the outside looking in, Indiana Jones, minus this game, is in a pretty horrible spot. Is in a
Oh yeah, the franchise. You're talking about the franchise.
yeah is in a completely destitute spot.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
it's
bad.
so like Indiana Jones having a good thing going for it is obviously very beneficial to Disney. I don't see why Disney wouldn't want to do everything they possibly can to get the studio who made this game to make another game. That it would be in their best interest to do that, given the fact that they apparently can't make a movie right now. They don't know how to do that. So if they do that, that's great for Disney. And then
Didn't they
for
cancel a couple
Xbox,
of TV shows as well?
I've no idea. I'm not an Indiana. I couldn't tell you. That's another reason I know this game is good because one thing I heard people say during the reviews was like, if you're not an Indiana Jones fan, you're not going to get it. I'm not an Indiana Jones fan. I get it. It's great.
That's
It
how
is
you know
great.
it's good. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, but like to the point of Microsoft and Xbox, it's like I I mean, I think it was Taye or maybe it was you. I can't remember who said it. But you were saying that as long as the team has an idea, or Phil Spencer was talking about. I think it was Taye said it. Phil Spencer was talking about if the team has an idea in terms of a licensed property, then it's something we're more inclined to look at. Obviously, Machine Games has an idea for Indiana Jones. It's quite obvious they have an idea that seems to resonate with a lot of people. So, I mean, if it's going to make Microsoft a bunch of money, and yeah, okay, they're going to put it on PlayStation, they're going to put it wherever they can, whatever. I don't care. That doesn't really bother me. And I don't think it bothers Microsoft because they're doing it anyway. So, like, as long as they're making money and then almost said Nintendo and Disney's IP is in a good spot or in a better spot than it has been at any point in the last like decade and a half, then they're both happy. I don't see why they wouldn't be making a sequel.
Yeah, I think this is a W for them. I think the reception has been great, but I think it's a case of like a death by like 1,000 cuts. You mentioned Blade,
Mhm.
Microsoft greenlighting that, but you see that was in development in 2021 after Deathloop came
Yeah.
out, so you could say 2021, 2022, and the Bethesda acquisition closed off in 2021. So I don't really see a situation where Microsoft steps in and tells Bethesda like, okay, yeah, we're the new boss now, cancel this project. So I think they're pretty much hands off. I'm not actually saying that like we're not going to see a sequel. I think we're going to see a sequel for sure. But I do think there's a business side of things, and the business side of things probably led to this being multi-plat, right? Because I mean, they could have made Fable multi-plat, they could have made other games multi-plat, but it's probably the fact that like there's a financial part to play in this game
Yeah,
that has led to it being this way.
definitely.
Now, that's just listen. It's good for gamers. Everyone gets to play this game, and you said right now, like it's an amazing game. It feels very Indiana Jones like. That is true, but I think sometimes there's a like when I have these discussions with like friends, also like there's things that we like that benefits the consumers, but doesn't necessarily benefit the ecosystem. And if this is like it's kind of like Hellblade 2. Like I was talking to you guys about it on your
Hmm.
podcast, Ma.
Yeah,
Hellblade 2 to me is a good game. Like it's an 8 out of 10. I actually like the game a lot. However, that's good for
Ew.
me, the consumer. What's up?
I
yeah.
said ew. It's not an 8 out of 10.
Ew.
Carry on. Carry
It's
on.
an 8 out of 10
Both of
game,
us being
and I
wrong
and
about
I and
stuff.
I think for people who are into cinematic, artistic experiences, Hellblade 2 is perfect. It's such a
Yes.
unique game in so many ways, but I
Hmm.
think it pleases a small minority of people, and as a
Absolutely.
result, it doesn't grow the ecosystem, doesn't sell Xboxes, doesn't sell Game Pass, so it actually hurts the Xbox brand from a growth perspective. So then I'm looking at Microsoft saying, yeah, I like the game. I think the game is cool, but it did nothing for you. And as a result, you have a team that is extremely talented that has, I don't want to say wasted, but for the context, that's wasted 4 to 5 years doing nothing for you. That doesn't
Sure.
help your platform at all. That actually hurts your platform. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Sure. So, like in the case of Hellblade, I don't think. I mean, I can't imagine, and maybe I'm wrong. Could easily be wrong about this. I cannot imagine that Microsoft, hearing that Ninja Theory wanted to make Hellblade 2, I can't imagine they heard that and said, "Well, this needs to sell 10 million copies." I cannot imagine they
Yeah,
had
that's
that thought
never going to happen.
because like you kind of said it there when you were talking, like it's for people who are into artsy narrative driven games. That's exactly what that game is. It's a very artsy narrative driven game. And Microsoft, like, people, we love to clown on Microsoft every now and then for being kind of dumb. But
Kinda.
even somebody, even a company who can be very dumb sometimes, with the experience that they have, I mean, they've been in the console business and gaming for like over 20 years at this point. With that experience, they must know that they must know who that game is for, and as long as they're the ones greenlighting it and they're the ones funding it, if it sells to 10 million or 500,000 people, as long as they're cool with it, then it's going to get made. And it seems like they're very cool with it because the thing that or the thing that Hellblade specifically does is it gets you whether how much it sells, it gets you into the whole discussion for um, the VGAs, the TGAs, excuse me. It gets you into the whole discussion for that, which is something that Microsoft in the last decade hasn't typically been in. And that is something that is good for your platform. Now, if they're willing to eat the however many millions of dollars it costs for development on Hellblade 3, which it seems like they are, because I'm pretty sure they've already announced that that's greenlit, then hey, so be it. If that makes you happy, then and you want to do that, then by all means, go ahead and do that. In terms of Indiana Jones, or just licensed IP in general, I'd say yeah, you'll probably see like Blade. I don't think there's any possibility that Blade is not on PlayStation. I don't think it'll be there day one. I think they'll do the exact same thing they did what they're doing with Indiana Jones. It'll come out on Xbox, and then a couple months later, it'll be out on PlayStation. And I mean, I don't. Does that hurt the platform? I don't. I guess maybe you could make an argument for that, but at the same time, me as the consumer who's playing on the platform and is getting games as they launch on the platform, do I really care?
No,
Not
you
really.
shouldn't.
And does Microsoft care? Obviously not. They obviously do not. So it's like it
I
doesn't
think they
hurt
do
me,
care, Matt.
but they don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing it.
I
If,
would
No,
if
when
actually
I
agree
say
with Coke.
when I say I think they do care is that they took the action to put it on the PlayStation. So
no,
they
it's not,
care.
yeah,
They
okay,
know
okay,
they know what's popping on the blue side, and they're like, yeah,
yes,
let's get it popping that side. So the definition of care is not to be, we're not even talking about are they bothered. Saying you don't care about something is like indifferent. They're not indifferent. They are very
uh,
much aware, and they do care about what's happening on PlayStation, and that's why that Indiana Jones is going to PlayStation.
sure. But I'm saying I'm saying do they care? Like this whole platform argument.
That's what I'm
Does
saying.
Mike?
I think the words you want to use is uh, are they against it? Are they bothered by it,
Well, they're
etc.
obviously not against it.
Yeah. So I think that's the angle we should go with. But saying they don't care, I don't think that's true.
I'm
But you see,
saying
I
they
think
don't. I'm
the reason why I think they do, sorry, not like,
no, you're fine.
I think before they didn't, they did care, they wanted to kind of, go all out and, do the whole console war thing. Because I mean, we saw that in the emails, right? Even like Matt Booty was saying, like, we can outspend them. I think it's after the ABK deal when the industry was kind of, going towards this. So, hey, listen, we need to all make money, and Microsoft, stepping in. That's when everything kind of fell apart. Like they just stopped caring. At that point, it became about profit. It wasn't about like, oh, the console base anymore. It was about, let's make profit. That's why we see, Indiana Jones going over. That's why we, when Phil Spencer is being asked, like, hey, listen, are you going to, is there any red lines? He just said straight up, like, no, there's no red lines. I think as soon as he said there's no red lines, that's him literally saying, like, yeah, like everything's coming through. I just can't say outright because you guys are gonna go crazy and freaking attack me online. So I gotta be chill with it. So I completely agree with Matt in the sense that, like, listen, everyone's happy, everyone gets to play this game, like it's all good. It just doesn't grow the ecosystem. I don't think so. I think this does well
Sure.
for Game Pass, but if this was an exclusive, like a proper, like, hey, listen, you ain't getting this anywhere else, you're gonna consider it. Because it's same thing with me with Final Fantasy. I want to play that game badly. I want to play Final Fantasy Rebirth badly, but
Okay.
I'm hearing these rumors that, like, hey, the whole slate's coming to Xbox. Therefore, I don't buy the PS5 until, as I'm hoping. But as soon as I heard this
Wait,
was
you have an
3
Xbox?
months, no, I don't have a PS5. I just have an Xbox on PC.
Wait. I thought me and you were brothers in PlayStation. What?
I have a
I,
PS4. Yes, I don't have a PS5.
there you
Oh
go.
my
That's
goodness.
really all you need at this point.
Yeah, to be
Um,
honest.
Settle
I,
down, man.
I would say I'll let you finish too. I just wanted to say like to the growing the ecosystem point. I would argue that what they're doing grows the ecosystem more than ever. Because
True.
the ecosystem being Game Pass. Not
Yeah,
just
it's not
and not just Game Pass, but like anywhere because we talked about it Friday, at the very end of the show. where Indiana Jones on Steam, if you buy it on Steam, you can log into your Microsoft account and get your cloud saves from your Xbox or from Game Pass PC or whatever, wherever you're playing it at. So that is the ecosystem. Like
Yeah.
Game Pass isn't on Steam, but the ecosystem is anywhere you're signing into your Xbox account for cloud saves, for playing with friends, for whatever the case may be. But like their whole pivot to this thing that we all seem to disagree with, but at this point I'm just kind of indifferent to. That is them growing the ecosystem more than probably they ever could, and more than it probably ever will be. So, like, I get what you're saying. I just think that Microsoft is kind of like in this position where it's like, dude, if people are playing the game, like Satya is obviously the kind of person, like, if people are playing the game, I don't give a shit where they're playing it at. I really don't care.
As long as we're making money off of them.
Exactly. Yeah. And whether you agree with Satya or not, which, me personally, I don't, but like at the end of the day, it's not my call. And if they're making money, then they're making money and they're happy, I guess. But
True.
The ecosystem, I think, is going to flourish throughout this, as opposed to the exact opposite of be harmed in any way whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Ron Slasher, welcome in, says they should work on Dustborn too. Matt Kyle, do you guys think Machine Games could make Dustborn 2? Like legit, I'm not even trying to troll or anything. Do you guys think Machine Games could make Dustborn 2 and a real success?
Put a couple bad guys in it and let me punch them or shoot them. And you can put all the funny woke stuff in there that you want. By all means, go ahead and do it. I'm fine with that.
And you're good to go.
I mean, just let me hurt people in the game, and I will be totally happy.
Oh my goodness. Tai, do you think Machine Games could save Dustborn 2? Do you think they could make it a proper banger like they've done now with Indiana Jones?
I'm trying.
That's a crazy bar, look.
Like I don't even like how would it even look like and play. I just can't even think of it. You know what I think could actually help Dustborn too? The guys who made High on Life, what they called again? Squanch Games.
Squanch, yeah.
If you take Squanch Games and you take that comedic element and then you make Dustborn 2. I think if Dustborn 2 is like a very comedic game that's kind of like a parody of itself, then yeah, I think that could actually sell well.
That could work.
Yeah, for
Rockstar
sure.
could do it too. I mean, look at
Ooh.
like think of GTA. GTA is just a parody of like, or 5 was just a parody of modern life.
Mhm.
GTA 6 is going to be the exact same thing. So it's like, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do that if they wanted to, of course. But
Yeah. By the image on the screen, you guys obviously can tell that Ham's in the house. Ham, welcome. How you doing?
I didn't know Snake was black. That's sick.
That's that diversity, equity, and inclusion for you, bruv.
There you go.
Looks
There
good.
you go. Doesn't he look good?
It's a
I think I
strong
look pretty good. I think I look pretty good.
He's a good-looking brother. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
But check this one out. This is, that's the new look, but this is, but this is the old school look right here.
Damn.
It's about to be some. Okay.
That doesn't look like it was altered in any way whatsoever.
Right?
That just looks like the original Metal Gear.
Look, that should be your new profile picture right there.
It should be.
I think I'll do it on the 1st. I'll do it on the 1st of January.
You should do it now. But
it should either be that one. It should be either that one or
not the Dustborn. Don't you dare put the Dustborn one up.
That's fucking hysterical. Oh my god. Is that your first time seeing that, Luke?
Oh fuck. That's my first time seeing it. Yep. Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Oh man, I didn't know he even knew about it, but there it is. He knew about it and he was ready. He's like, "Don't put me back in the." That was the last thing we heard from him. He's dead.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't even finish this game. I had to alt F4 out of it. Nah.
I
That's
hear
too
I hear
bad.
I hear it gets really good. I hear it's one of those
Yeah.
games you get out of it what you put into it, Luke, and I don't think you put enough into it.
Yeah, you gotta
Uh-huh.
put a little bit more time in, Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
yeah.
dust hasn't settled.
No, it
Yeah,
hasn't.
that's probably what happened. Sure. Sure, guys. Sure.
You
Ham,
can
seriously.
continue though. You can
Seriously,
continue.
how you doing? And what have you been playing, Ham?
Oh man, thank you, Fark you. I've been playing a little bit of that. That was fun. I mean, I've been also playing some more Stalker, even though I beat it. It's just a fun game. I just started to kind of, just screw around with the side missions and stuff like that. I started a new game. Too bad it's not a new game like Plus, but I started a new game.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was a new game plus because that would be dope for all the stuff that I got and whatnot. But yeah, I don't see how that would really work because it doesn't really make sense within the situation that you're put in. But that'd still be cool. Let me see. But yeah, I've been playing. I started Indiana Jones obviously yesterday. I mean, that was wild. I'm surprised. I was surprised that it got the ratings that it got, and then I played it, and I was like, all right, yeah,
That
that
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Yeah. It made sense how it wasn't just like for a certain type. This was very much made to be an everybody game, right? And it even plays like that. Like it has the difficulty, which is pretty simple. The things that you do in the game, which kind of, to be honest, are pretty like practical when it comes to like what you would expect a video game to be comfortable tackling. And it was just like bad man, fascist. Everybody knows fascist, bad man. Simple,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yep.
dogs in the game, but you can't hurt them. I noticed it, and I was like,
hurting stuff. Jeez.
well, my whole thing is like Stalker was like, kill that motherfucker, but like Indiana Jones is like, we're more family friendly, so they don't, and that's honestly what Indiana Jones is, to be honest. So like when I seen that I couldn't kill a dog, I was like, that makes sense, okay. Because he wouldn't be doing that shit in the movies. He would not be taking no knife out and like gutting no dog or anything like that. He wouldn't be doing that. It's Indiana Jones. He's very, family, like pro family kind of shit.
He's
right?
a good man.
Yeah, he's a good man, essentially, right? All he is. He's a teacher that's just trying to,
A good man.
uncover the secrets and
What is
make
that?
figure out wholesome shit for the world. But yeah, it was really it was really good so far from what I played. I've only played about 2-3 hours of it, but like, and most of that time is me just running around, screwing around. Like I haven't really done anything.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be the theme of the game.
It's a lot more comfortable doing that than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be very straightforward, and I'd want to just go, I got mission, I go do mission. I thought it would be much more like that.
Yeah.
But it is more open than the trailers and stuff like that made it out to look.
Yeah.
So now I find myself just like, what's over here? What can I get away with without me being in the middle of a mission? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what can I get away with? How many people can I beat up you know. um, I'm literally like, trying shit, right? Like I'll go test the police in the middle of the city with surrounded by 20 motherfuckers. Am I able to handle? Can I beat all y'all ass? And it doesn't work. It doesn't work out. But I could really cause a ruckus, and it's fun. Sometimes it kind of gives you that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say like Grand Theft Auto, but like that kind of just fuck around and find out.
That would trigger too many people, Ham.
You know what I mean? That fuck around and find out kind of feeling.
Yeah,
I like that. I like when a game can just, it's it has its story and whatnot, but it remembers it's just a game as well.
it invites you to have fun.
Yeah, it invites me to just do some fuckery, and I'm all about it. Like Halo, I'm all about like action sack and just stupid shit, right? Like I love the PvP and all the team battling and stuff like that. But if I can just like screw around, it has more staying power, right?
Yeah.
That's really all I'm saying. But that's fun.
All
So
right. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Mike Johnson, welcome in, Mike Johnson. Does it come with Kojima? Oh my goodness, this guy. Everyone is a Loke ad campaign. What? What are we doing, Richie? What are we doing? Sour Blow, welcome. Big Mad Mo. He brought it right round. Said it's a video game. And to all the memes about the whole Kojima thing, I think it's important for us to celebrate just video games that want to be only video games, not trying to be a movie, trying to be an IP, etc., etc. It's just a video game. Go in, have fun, and move on. But
It's also very cinematic too.
Is it?
Like I saw, I think it was actually Ty who mentioned the Xbox 2 earlier. I was listening to the same episode, and I think Jez and Rambo said like there's upwards of like the total game. There's like upwards of 4 hours of cutscenes. Like it's a lot of it's a big movie.
It is. Like, have you played it, Loke, yet at all?
But just about 2 hours. Nothing.
Ty, have you played it?
Oh
No, I haven't yet.
Okay. So I won't spoil nothing, but like that first little I should say like the first 30 minutes to an hour is very just relaxing, right? Where it doesn't really feel like you're doing too much. And then once you get the opportunity to do a lot, it's still pretty chill and relaxing. Like, I like the vibe in this game. It's nowhere near sweaty like a Stalker or frustrating in like it. I don't mean this the wrong way at all. Because I really enjoyed the game. But I was thinking when I was gonna be playing this game, I was gonna get the feeling of, man, I'm tired of like looking around and searching and doing this crap. And like I got that about 45 minutes into playing one of my favorite games this year, which was Astrobot. Because Astrobot, the whole point of each level is you hop into the level and you just look for shit.
yeah.
I told you that game. Something's wrong, man. I told you.
It was fantastic, but it just kind of like didn't do a whole lot outside of what you would expect that game to be able to do, right? And I feel like this game kind of does a little bit more outside of what you would expect to be able to do. So that's why, I don't know. I feel like I can sit and play this longer and not really notice.
I think I'll finish this instead of Astrobot. I couldn't even finish Astrobot, but I think I'll.
Astrobot, I have fun in little spurts like I do with most platform games, right? But like, But Indiana Jones is like something that, like, when I'm ready for the story, I can grab my popcorn. But
Yeah.
like, if I don't want any story at all, I can just get my hands dirty.
There's a lot of video game in it.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of option.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
So Ham, before you hopped in here, we were about to start talking about our our guesses for what the metrics were. We're just guessing because no one here has the inside track, no one has the inside information, etc., etc. The idea is guessing and why you guess XYZ, right? So the question is, what do you think Xbox and Disney has as their metric? Is it sales? Is it Game Pass subs?
Well, yeah. Okay.
It's definitely not Game Pass subs.
Yeah.
No.
not for Disney. Disney don't give a fuck about Game
No,
Pass.
Disney doesn't care about Game Pass subs in particular. I mean, I think right now is making quality content that actually can be, quality content. They've been getting beat up for making bad things lately.
Disney or Microsoft?
Disney.
Okay.
Disney. Microsoft's been hit and miss in the last year and whatnot, but they've been kind of, they're kind of not like looking at this as the same way that Disney is, right? Disney is trying to figure out where their footing is, like how they're gonna, implement gaming and who they're gonna share their IPs and stuff like that with, right? I feel like that's what Disney's kind of doing. And I think Disney's looking at the reception of this and being like, yeah, this is a lot better than fucking Star Wars right now. Like, this is they're looking at machine games like, hey, like, whether this is like a huge seller or not, because obviously the movie didn't sell a whole lot lately. So I don't feel like they're expecting this to just like do insane numbers, so much more insane than like if it does that, then plus, right? But I think their whole point was to put out something that was good and that the people could like and respect and enjoy of an IP that's been near and dear for a long time. So I think that was a big purpose of it, and also seeing, hey, what developers and whatnot can we trust to do a good job with our property? Because not only did they put out this game, keep in mind, but there's already a DLC that's greenlit for that.
Yep.
So, I mean, Math's worst nightmare could happen, and they be a Disney studio from now on. But
It's possible.
it is possible. But like, I don't think that's exactly it either. I think it's just more or less like, maybe the studio can get bigger. Maybe this is a reason why they get bigger, right?
Mhm.
I feel like Spider-Man's a reason why Insomniac should be bigger. Right? They bang out a dope ass Spider-Man. Whether you love the stories or not, it's technically sound.
Yeah. Objectively speaking, those games are sound. You're right.
Exactly. So I feel like, with the cadence that an Insomniac figured out, I feel like Marvel, or not Marvel, but Disney looks at them and they're like, they figured it out. They got it. That's nice. And then they see Machine Games come out with this game and they're like, oh, nice. Sweet. They looked at Ubisoft and they're like, come on, y'all. Come on, man. Come on, you guys. Y'all changing up the technique. What's going on over here? And they looked over at EA and they were like, that's nice. Surviving. I see y'all. Y'all doing all right. Make sure that ray tracing shit's figured out next time, but we see y'all. Good job.
We need to
But
stop kicking on Ubisoft. Poor guys.
oh, come on, man! They gotta stop. They gotta stop throwing themselves out the window and then saying I got cut. Like, come on
They
now.
should stop kicking themselves. Honestly.
Uh, yeah,
You
pretty
guys
much.
are mean. Y'all are mean. Ty, do you agree with Ham? Is the metric just make something nice? It doesn't have to sell a whole lot. It's not about Game Pass. Make something nice to polish up that IP value.
Yeah, I think the main sorry, I think the main metric here is make something quality, right? To kind of grow the brand, to kind of push this narrative that we make quality products, similar to Spider-Man. Like that is a quality product. They want the games to or the IPs to be somewhere in the line of, the Batman Arkham games and the Spider-Man games. So I think that's main priority. The second thing I think is important here is Disney's head of gaming said some time ago that he didn't think it was overly exclusionary for it to be exclusive to Xbox. So Disney did sign a deal with Xbox to make it exclusive. Like they didn't have to, right? At that point, the deal was no, it's multi-platform everywhere. But the fact that they signed that deal with Xbox means that they're actually okay. I think the reason why they're okay is because when he says overly exclusionary, he's saying, well, wait, Game Pass and Xbox and PC, that is still a decent chunk of the player base. Because remember, with Spider-Man, it's just PlayStation, right? There's no PC.
Mm,
So,
Mhm.
and the key thing here is Game Pass. Disney has a subscription service themselves. They put they put their IPs on
Facts.
on Disney Plus, right? So they're not
And
new
it
to
used to
this.
be all over Netflix and everything. So
Yeah,
I ain't
exactly.
kidding. It's facts.
Yeah, exactly. And they took it out and they put it on their subscription service. So their subscription service idea isn't really a problem for them. The reason why they went down the subscription service route is because they wanted to grow those IPs outward. They wanted people to watch it, right? They wanted to get more eyes on it. So I think Game Pass is actually probably something that they like. Now, when you think about it from a financial point of view, they don't like that part, right? However, if Xbox just covers those losses, then it's okay. Because at the end of the day, if Xbox can say, "Hey, Disney, guess what? Indiana Jones was played by 2 million people, in the first 2 weeks or whatever it is. That's more than Midnight Suns. That's more than Avengers. That's more than Guardians of the Galaxy straight off the bat. So automatically, that's a win for you. So I don't think it's really sales per se. Sales just tells you how much they're making. But if that's been mitigated, then then it doesn't really matter, right? So I will say Game Pass is probably important for them, and they're probably looking at those metrics. And from a sales perspective, I mean, it just adds to the numbers. So I think that's just what it is. But yeah, I would say Game Pass is important to them.
okay. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the whole Game Pass part. It's a nice little connection you made there. Matt,
Yeah.
thoughts on what the actual metrics are? So I'm talking about IP value, which is also key. And Ty has brought in the whole Game Pass and subscription angle.
I think it's kind of a mix of both. I mean, again, like I said earlier, I don't think Game Pass is too important to Disney. I think what matters to Disney is how much engagement this gets. Um, because, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Um, Indiana Jones as an IP has been kind of just in the shitter for like over a decade at this point. So any positive engagement, let alone a lot of positive engagement, is a good thing for Disney when it comes to Indiana Jones. And this seems to not only be getting positive engagement, but a pretty good amount of it. So that's probably something that probably the most important thing Disney cares about is getting some form of positivity tied to the Indiana Jones IP. For Microsoft, I think it's probably the kind of the same thing, just on different metrics, like engagement as in their ecosystem. That's what we talked about earlier. Game Pass. That's Game Pass. I guess now you can throw Steam in there with the whole. You can sign in and sync your cloud saves and everything. Like how many people are signing in to an Xbox platform, whether that's a Microsoft account, whether that's an Xbox console, whether that's Game Pass, playing this game. I think that's the biggest metric for Xbox specifically.
The idea is mind share. Like Richie said, it says Disney and Xbox both need to regain mind share. Who do you guys think? I'm not trying to be a bully, all right? But who do you guys think needs the most assistance in like lifting up their brand from the doldrums? Disney or Xbox?
Disney.
Like who is most profiting from this
Disney.
from this banger?
That's Disney. Because listen, I'm enjoying the generation for Xbox right now, but I know the whole sentiment against it is they're having a bad generation. I also know the last generation for Xbox was not a good generation. But in the last 15 years, Xbox has had a good generation, has had undoubtedly good generation. Whereas in the last 15 years, Disney hadn't done shit with Indiana Jones. And everything they have done has been bad. Has been absolutely horrible.
Mm.
So I would definitely say Disney for sure.
Jeez.
I think Xbox takes. Sorry, maybe I misunderstood the question. Who gets a bigger win from this? Is that what you're saying?
No, who needs
Who needs the bigger win?
needs
Xbox.
the bigger win between the two?
Xbox for sure. The Disney crowd that are complaining and crying are primarily TV and moviegoers. They don't care about the video games at all. Spider-Man Miles Morales, if it could be a great game. If the movie sucks or is woke or whatever, they'll just cry and they'll hate it. Like they'll never reference the game in terms of quality, right? So I think this actually helps Xbox a lot. This does nothing for Disney whatsoever. I think they're just in a position where they need to fix the TV and the movie stuff, and then that fan base is going to be happy. I don't think anybody like any Indiana Jones fan, they're primarily obviously moviegoers. They will never forget what Disney has done to Indiana Jones for the last 2 movies or whatever. Like it doesn't matter how good this game is, they're still going to look at Disney in a very negative light, right? So I don't think this helps Disney at all. They still need to kind of fix their fan base issues.
Ham, you're the tiebreaker here. Who needs it more?
Well,
Xbox.
it sucks to be the tiebreaker in this situation because I tell you, monetarily, I feel like Disney needs this.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about image,
Optics, yeah.
I say Xbox then.
So I guess the tiebreaker is Xbox. Xbox needed this more than
Well, what's your opinion on this as well?
me.
Mhm.
Oh, dude,
It's
I
always funny
think
whenever we ask you.
Yeah.
I think it's Xbox, honestly,
Mm.
because like you said, Ty, most of the people that care about Disney aren't really gamers. We saw Marvel Rivals hit 10 million gamers this last weekend,
Crazy numbers.
but it's not because it's Disney or Marvel. It's because it's a very good game. That's all. Because Disney and Marvel properties have come out and flopped hard. So yeah, I would agree with you, Ty, that it's definitely Xbox, because Disney is really not bothered by this, or it's not going to make a big
Splash.
dent on their IP value. Of course, it will impact it, right? But it's not going to make a big splash, like you said, compared to Xbox getting. Is this the biggest exclusive of the year?
Do you know what? Yeah, there's actually a 3-pronged attack here to your point, because Machine Games released
No,
Youngblood, right? And that game was supposed to be.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
As an answer in Luke's question, I said no.
Okay.
It's not the biggest exclusive of the year.
Well, I don't even feel that comfortable calling it exclusive because it's only like for a couple months,
Bro.
Yeah.
It's
right?
exclusive
So like,
until it's on other machines.
I mean, I guess it's exclusive for the year. Yeah.
I'm sure To me, it's as exclusive as like a Black Myth or something like that.
Or
To
Power
me, it's
World.
just like or a Power World or something like that. Like when I hear that it's coming to another console, it's just like it's not exclusive at all. I
It's
don't
not
care how
exclusive anymore.
I don't care how long or short it is. It's just not like it to me. It's just like a game that it doesn't really count.
If we're counting Power World and Black Myth Wukong, then those two would overtake Indiana Jones for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. My bad. I was just gonna still say like this isn't anything compared. It's a couple pieces of popcorn compared to Call of Duty.
Call of Booty.
to
Call
the
it
point
by
you were
its name.
saying, Loki, I think it's a three-pronged attack just because Machine Games released Young Blood and that wasn't received well. So this game coming out does well for their image. It does well for Bethesda's image as well, in releasing a quality game. And it does well for Xbox's image in the sense that, this is a single player action adventure action game that can be up there with the likes of Sony's games as well, like or even Nintendo's games. So I think this is a much needed win for those three companies, as opposed to Disney.
Yeah. That's not crazy at all. Welcome in the Sly Crow. Welcome. Let's finally read this 9 out of 10 from IGN. Mr. Luke Riley wrote the report, said, an irresistible and immersive global treasure hunt, and far and away the best indie story this century. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs on your hard drive where you can play the heck out of it. Let's go around the table. Matt, you haven't finished the game yet.
Hell no.
9 out of 10 from what you've played so far. Is that fair?
Is it fair? Oh yeah, it's fair, dude. I'd say this is the most fun game I've played this year, and I've experienced like a fraction of a percent of the story. So I mean, yeah. If a game's objective is to be fun, and this game's objective is obviously to be fun, then yeah, the story, which the cutscenes and the acting and everything so far is brilliant. Like that all adds to the experience. I don't see why it wouldn't be a 9 out of 10. I don't see why for some people it wouldn't be a 10 out of 10. Like it's a great game.
Ham, is 9 out of 10 fair from what you've played so far?
From what I played so far, yeah, for sure. I think simply it is. I mean, come on. To me, it's just like I'm excited. I'm starting to see more Xbox games starting to come out, right? The cadences, it's coming through. Oshus, I don't know where the fuck he's at today. He should be here. All this
he did,
moaning that he's been doing.
You saw them review scores that he wasn't happy.
I know he got sick. My man,
He was like, "Oh hell no!"
He got the flu today. He ain't feeling all right, man. I mean, because not that long ago, he was like, "Hey, Ham, what does Xbox quality mean? They have a quality standard. What does that even mean?" And I was like, "Yo, bro, Hellblade came out like without a problem. Like whether you loved Hellblade or not, you can't sit here and tell me that Hellblade came out broken. Didn't happen whatsoever. That game was like perfect on the way it came out. Hi-Fi Rush, same thing. Starfield, the best Bethesda game launch ever. Like smoothness wise and whatnot. And I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm just saying it was the best Bethesda's done, right? Buggy wise. So it really seemed like to me after the whole Redfall debacle, they got most of it figured out. They still have some launching issues sometimes, but they've been fixing things fairly quickly. right? Because it seemed like Redfall was like a damn near a year before that game was like fixed. That's what it felt like. It's
Took a
not
minute.
true exactly. I mean, technically, it was like it came out and then by like December, it was better.
3
But
months in
it still
gaming
had
is a long
many
time,
more
brother.
patches, and it was way too late, right?
Yeah.
Compared to recently, I was complaining about Flight Sim and Stalker, right? But Stalker right now is in a much better place it was like a week, 2 weeks ago. It's in a way better place. Very stable, looks good. I already beat the game and I started a new game and got about 5 hours into that playthrough, 5 or 6 hours into that playthrough. So it works fine for me on my PC and on my Xbox. Flight Sim, it was like after the first 12 hours, it was fine. It was more or less trying to figure out the server issues and bullshit, right? And then once that came out, it was fine. And I'm just like, all right, they're starting to fix things up better, but we just need more consistency in this shit. And I tell you what, if they come out with South of Midnight being as good and as smooth as this Indiana Jones has come out with, I don't know, man. I feel like this train might be moving, bro. I feel like the train actually might be moving, and
Sounds like
hey,
a really good plan.
I'm super excited for the possibility of a Fable by the end of this year.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then you
Avowed
mentioned something
right
from,
around the corner. I didn't even mention Avowed. Shit.
exactly.
Like
Exactly.
you know, like they are kind of cooking right now, and I think a lot of people are trying to ignore that, but they are outside.
Then there's Fable as well, like the Sly Crow mentioned in the chat. Fable as well is also coming. The Sly Crow said making a first-person game like Fallout is flat. Machine Games did well with the immersive camera control in indie. You know what? Considering I've been playing a lot of first-person with Cyberpunk and Starfield, I think that's definitely something worth highlighting. Definitely worth
Yeah, I
something worth
wish other games
highlighting.
did stuff like that where you could see your character every once in a while.
Hmm.
That'd be really dope in Cyberpunk, especially for as much as you can fuck around with your character to be able to, you know, pull back and see it like go down like a ladder or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be interesting. But Cyberpunk is so close to being perfect, they might as well leave some space for the sequel.
Yeah, put a third person in the sequel. That would
Yeah.
be fire. If they put a third person down, like Grand Theft Auto might actually have a problem.
Or give us options to be like the camera switches to third when you're climbing ladders, or switches to third when you're in the home in your house or whatever. You know, just give people
Ooh, when
options.
you're in your home, that'd be dope.
Yeah, just give people options to mess around with the angles and the perspectives. I think that'll make the game more immersive and interesting. Mental, welcome. Says one thing working in favor of Indiana Jones is id Tech engine. I'm not surprised it performs well. It's on arguably the best engine out there.
That's very true. Like one of the most, if not the absolute most, and I'd probably stand behind just saying the absolute most optimized engine that we've ever known. The engine was literally made to be able to run on like the worst of the worst stuff.
Yeah.
That's like that was one of the purposes of them making it. Is I mean, like they took that song from Ludacris, "How Low Could You Go," and they went with that shit. They went with that shit. They're like, "How low? We finna show you," and they go crazy low. Like bro, they brought Eternal to the Switch.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is mental to think about. Switch couldn't run Candy Crush efficiently if you asked them to. So yeah, that's a big one.
This is
Fuzzy
the same
Tomato.
engine. This is like the same engine that was like back in the day with fucking Sega Genesis and shit too. It's crazy. It's just updated and updated and updated and updated and updated to the point to it's now, you know, I mean, it's kind of crazy. You look at Sony the same way, right? You're like, you guys used to make Walkmans, like tape players and shit like that, like radios, and now you got this shit, like, right? It's just crazy to watch the history of a company go from little, damn near, barely interesting, or maybe like just interesting enough to be in your household, to like, damn, like the glow up is nuts.
But Ham, hold on. I just wanna clarify something with you because my mind is kind of blowing up here. Are you saying that id the id engine was developed since the Sega?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think
What?
they made all? What do you think they made all those old Doom games on?
The
See,
old
that
Sega
scares me.
Genesis, the old, Super Nintendo Dooms, and all that shit. Like, I mean, obviously it started on PC, and they first, I believe, started by making a copycat version of Mario on PC. I forget what the game was called in particular, but they made like a copycat version of Mario on PC. Just to see if they could get a PC to run as clean as a console could, because at the time, consoles were beating the shit out of PCs when it came to video games.
So
And yeah,
what concerns me is this means that we might never get like through the creation engine. Like they might
You're
never
not.
leave that.
You're not going to. You'll get iterations on the creation engine. The only way the creation engine stops being a thing is maybe when Todd Howard retires, and if someone at the studio who takes over really wants to move on from it. But outside of that, you're on the creation engine.
I was reading up on that a little bit, and they were kind of saying how it's a lot more complex because a lot of the studio heads on at Bethesda, they pretty much are used to the creation engine. So if you were to
Mhm.
shift to a different engine entirely, you're gonna have all these leads who are now learning all these new mechanics. So maybe if
Yep.
a game was supposed to come out in like 5 years, it's probably gonna take 7 years now because they're all like
Yep.
relearning things. So do you want Skyrim to be delayed by a further 2 to 3 years, or do you want? And also, not even that, they mentioned how the creation engine does exactly what Bethesda wants it to do.
Yes.
As soon as you get an Unreal Engine, well, now you got to start tearing it apart, making it do this, making it do that, and at that point, is it even worth it?
Mhm.
So the creation engine is perfect for what Bethesda wants it to do. And if you start playing a game like if you start using Unreal Engine, it's going to be very different. Like, how people saw Master Chief in Unreal Engine, they were like, "This looks different." Like, is it going to
Yep.
play the same way we want it to play? And these are the important things. Imagine picking up, a Halo game and it doesn't feel like Halo because it's a different engine entirely. Fans might not like that. So I think Bethesda fans are happy with Creation Engine. And most people who I find who complain about Creation Engine tend to be fans who are not necessarily Bethesda fans, right?
Oh
So
my god. Just say it to my face if you have a problem with me, Ty. This guy.
yeah,
I mean, it's not just you. It's a lot of people
it's a
complain
lot of
about the
people for
creation.
sure.
Complain
I
about the
don't like
creation.
the creation engine.
There's a lot of people who feel the same way. But
Mm.
we're just letting you know that that's
That
not
I'm not
going
a
to
real
change.
Bethesda fan.
No. I'm just letting you know that that's not going to change.
Yeah, it's very complex. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that needs to happen. Like Matt said, Todd probably needs to leave, but a lot of guys as well probably need to leave as well.
Yeah. Like you'd have to shed like most of any sort of senior leadership at that studio to run into the first person who's like, hey, maybe we should try another engine. You'd have
Yeah.
to shed like multiple layers of leadership in that studio. And I
Mhm.
don't think you'll ever get to that point, because by the time you get to that point, all the people who will be taking over from that point have all been learning Creation Engine, and they're going to want to keep learning and developing on Creation Engine. So I don't think you're ever going to get to that point, really. It
Yeah.
does what they need it to do. They're gonna, every new game, they're gonna iterate on it. They're gonna add more to it. They're gonna refine it, make it better. and it's going to keep doing what they need it to do.
Even
Yeah,
I was reading up as well. I'm sorry, Ham. That even when it comes to modding, for example, yeah, the creation engine is really good for that.
Mhm.
So as soon as you go to Unreal Engine,
Yes.
well, now your models are going to struggle, right? And the models are literally what keeps Bethesda games alive. And then you also have
Yep.
a situation where somebody was talking about even like if you want to mod like stories into a Bethesda game, it's easy enough, and you can actually make the mouth and the move to like the words that's being said. That's easy to do with the creation engine. If you go to a different engine, that's gonna just break. It's not gonna look as good as it does with the creation
Yeah.
engine. So there's a lot of people who complain about the creation engine, but it does so much more of what they actually love, and they just don't
Mhm.
realize it. They have these kind of very surface level takes when it comes to engine changes.
God damn it! No,
I'll
no,
stop.
now I'm ignorant. Jeez, Ty.
Hey, he
Yeah,
didn't say that.
Well,
I ain't even
it's
talking
true.
about you.
I mean, just imagine, Loke. Just imagine taking a diesel mechanic and saying you're now working on aeronautics.
Mm.
Would you want to get on that plane?
I guess I'd want to get aeronautics mechanics. I guess.
Well, that's just what I'm saying. It's they work on different things that are purposeful for that type of service, right? So diesel mechanic's gonna understand its way around a truck and what needs to be fixed in it. Oh, this is wrong. We can run the diagnostics on this, and I can I can read the diagnostics and translate certain shit and put things back together. And I have history with prior trucks that had this same issue, so I'll get this knocked out in about half the time compared to the last couple of times that I did it where I didn't know. Certain things come with repetition, right? Compared to, like I said, okay, you were a diesel mechanic, now you're working on planes, and it's just like, all right, well, I need help. I don't know what's happening. Like maybe you still sure you know how to use the tools. Yeah, just like a person that's working at another company knows how to use a computer still, but they're just not familiar with what they're doing, so it's going to take them exponentially longer than it should.
I'll even buffer Ham's point as well with the diesel reference. BioWare, when they switched to
Oh my
Frostbite,
Yeah.
they
Oof.
switched to Frostbite, and they couldn't work that engine. Like, yeah, and I think the reference was Frostbite is exceptional for like a destruction first person shooting game. But as soon as you wanted to turn it into like some kind of RPG open world, it was a disaster for them. They had to keep bringing them these specialist guys to kind of help them, to actually like get used to the
On their
engine.
hands.
And that's how we ended up with Mass Effect Andromeda with the whole my face is tired and all these other parts, because these guys they're good developers, but they just weren't good at using Frostbite. And obviously, the only way Mass Effect Andromeda would have been better is if it probably got delayed by an extra 2 years, so those developers could have got used to the engine. So once again, if you want Elder Scrolls to come out, in 2030 or whatever it's going to come out, stick with the creation engine. Or if you want to switch to Unreal, then it's probably going to take an extra 2 or 3 years or so.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like for a big
Probably
business to eat a slice of humble pie. That's what it looks like.
busted.
A whole year, 2-year delay or something like that. That's humble pie right there. Oh shit!
I mean,
didn't know this
if you
plane
talk
went
about
this fast.
like two or 3 years delay, like affects a generation, like that's not
Yeah.
like that's a lot of time in like the competitive space. So it's a huge risk, and you don't know if it's going to work out in the end. It might just be like you're going to end up with glitches, bugs, all these. I mean, wait, is the Unreal Engine even that good? Because from what I've been hearing, people have been complaining about it, saying
Yeah,
something
people are
about
bitching about Unreal.
There's a lot of traversal stutter. Like even like there's a Dead Space remake. Not so much on consoles because I feel like they kind of locked it in on consoles, but on PC it doesn't really matter what configuration you're running. When you enter a new area, and not a huge open world game. It's just a space station. So like you enter a new area on that station, you will get traversal stutter. And this is years. I just played it the other day on PC. It still happens. Like years after launch. It's just a thing that happens because it's part of Unreal.
Mm.
It's one of the trade-offs of Unreal. Like, yeah, your game's gonna look good. And like most people know Unreal, so that's a benefit of using it. But with UE5 specifically, there are some trade-offs, and traversal stutter is one of those trade-offs.
So look, think if you're a new developer, right, and you want to come out with a game, and you're just like, I'm just going to use Unreal Engine, and you have a bunch of different, you have a bunch of different like animations and drawings and stuff like that you're going to add to it that to make this game, and you already have everything figured out. Keep in mind that game, the other games that all are having this similar error are now your error too, under that same engine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where id Tech kind of shit, and like that's where id Tech makes other engines look bad, because their whole thing is come to us if you want this type of focus in your game. Compared to Unreal Engine, they're just like, come to us if you want to make a game, not if you focus on anything in particular. And that's why they can be fucked up sometimes so bad, because there's no real direct focus on anything. Maybe lighting is like their thing, right? But like lighting is just video games, right? So it's just like but like you look at id was like, hey, come to us if you need this, if you want to do this. And then we've been good at patching in other things, but if you need your game to do this type of shit, come over here. Compared to Unreal is just like come use us for anything. And I don't feel like id Tech is really an anything type. I mean, you can try to use it as an anything type of engine, sure, but I feel like their their stance is much more specific on how they run things than an Unreal, which is more open ended.
Yeah,
I still hate the creation engine. I understand the necessity
That's
for
fine.
it. Like, there's a reason why you can kind of look at all the Dark Souls games and even Elden Ring, and this very like similar animations and sometimes even backgrounds, etc. I get it, but I don't have to like it. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
And
Yeah, no,
I
it
I
has
like
its
the
limitations for
option.
sure.
Yeah, I like the options in the Bethesda games, but I'm so over the way the creation engine is broken ish, and even the way it looks.
You guys know, like,
Although Starfield did renew a little bit of hope for me. It's a lot more polished. Go ahead,
you,
Ty.
you guys know that CD Projekt Red is moving from the Red Engine to
Yep.
Unreal Engine as
Yeah,
well. And with
yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
reasons why was like they were like it was technical, because the Red Engine, yeah, it was good for The Witcher 3, but I think I read somewhere that like when they wanted to do like latitudes, like like being able to go upstairs and stuff like that, the engine just couldn't deal with that. It was just breaking in so many ways. And I remember the reference was it was trying to build it was trying to like drive a train while building the train tracks. So the Red Engine itself, it's a pretty good engine, but it was very good for The Witcher 3 in a sense. But for Cyberpunk, which is a completely different kind of game, first person shooter, all these capabilities, driving, the engine just couldn't deal with it. That's why when you did something like change a code, remember with the police, how like they wouldn't even spawn properly? Like you don't really get that with The Witcher, because it's limited, it knows what it's doing. But like with the police that can drive cars and chase you and shoot you, like the engine just broke apart. So they're moving to the Unreal Engine as well, just because it's easier. But it just kind of shows like certain engines are very good for specific products, and as soon as you try to make a different type of game, everything falls apart in some cases.
I hope they don't mess it up with the sequel because of changing to UE5.
Hmm.
Speaking of UE5, Mental says UE5 has no reason for that though. Hellblade 2 didn't have that issue at all. At least I never
Yeah,
ran into any micro stutter or traversal stutter.
yeah.
It's really up to dev to work that out. It's doable.
hmm I
There's
I, I, to- I totally agree with that too.
right.
I just think there's a lot of cases where it's definitely doable, but devs for whatever reason it's not clicking and they're not doing it. So like Hellblade 2 is like a fucking technical achievement. Like that's a like a technical masterpiece versus like most games using UE5, like as great as Dead Space remake looks, and it looks incredible. I wouldn't call it a technical masterpiece. Like it's like I feel like there's certain studios who really understand Unreal Engine, and there's studios that don't seem to understand it that well. And this is kind of what we're left with is like half the games on UE5 run into a lot of the same issues, and the other half seem to be doing just fine.
So really the issue here is UE5 is just a tool.
It is a
The
tool.
real issue here is developer skill.
It could be developers' skill. It could just be not understanding. And I guess in a way, then yeah,
But that's
that's
a
definitely
skill
skill.
in and of
Yeah,
itself.
sure. But I'm saying like if I'm saying like in the case of Dead Space, because it's EA, it's a relatively big studio. It's a lot of people coming together to work on one thing, and things get muddied up and whatnot. But like, there's also studios who are big who have a really, really, really good understanding of Unreal Engine, and I don't think that EA is or Motive is that studio. As good as they are, I don't think they're that studio.
All right. All right. Mental then goes on to say there's also UE4 games out there that don't stutter. 90% of them do, but it can be taken care of if the devs put the time it takes to fix it. It seems Unreal Engine is a skill issue. that's what it, that's what it seems like to me. Dragon Age Veilguard is Frostbite engine. Is that maybe why
Is
it
it?
was like streamlined?
Wait, I haven't looked that up.
No,
That's really
yeah,
interesting.
Veilguard is Frostbite. But what happened with that is they just got really, really good at it because the more
I
you
sure did. Jesus.
program, the better you get, right?
Mm,
So they learned from Anthem. I think Anthem was like that as well, Andromeda as
Yeah.
well. The
Yep.
FIFA games as well, Frostbite. Like EA uses that engine a lot now, like for nearly all their games. So they just have a lot of experience with it now.
Also smart. Yeah. I mean, what you said. I think they definitely learned the Frostbite engine, but I think also what helped is probably the fact that Veilguard wasn't an open world game versus
Hmm.
Anthem and Andromeda are pretty open.
Yeah.
So maybe that helped as well. But I did not know that was on Frostbite. That's actually very impressive. If
yep.
that's on Frostbite.
It's a skill issue at the end of the day. Mental says I think UE is easy to use but hard to master. It's a skill issue.
There you go.
All right. Devs need to practice. Devs need to practice. Ham already asked you if the 9 was fair. Ty,
What's up?
9 out of 10. Is that fair?
I think it's fair. Yeah. I generally tend to side with Metacritic, as controversial as that may sound for some people. But like the Metacritic is at 87, and I think that's probably going to align with how people feel about the game. It's a very, very good game. And if you ever give a game a 9, if I give a game a 9, I can see how somebody might give it an 8 based on preference, and I can see how somebody might give it a 10 based on preference as well. So I think the score was well deserved. And I know some people were saying like, "Hey, listen, it's not that this game didn't come out a month earlier; it would have been nominated for Game Awards." I think just by the fact that it's coming out on PlayStation 5 in March next year, that will kind of reignite
That's
the
true.
interest. So you're gonna see at the Game
That's a
Awards next
good point.
That's
That's a
very
really
true.
good point.
year. So maybe
wonder-
Microsoft was smart
yeah.
about this. Maybe they planned this pretty well all along. Like, who knows?
That could be true. I really
That's
didn't think about
diabolical,
that.
Ty. Why'd you say that?
That actually
That's
might
that kind of
might work.
demon time I was talking about Microsoft being on. That's that kind of
Oh,
demon
man.
shit I be talking about.
Get your cake and eat it. You know?
Like I be wondering why they be doing stuff and then they do something like that, and I'm like, you son of a bitch! I see what you just did. Like there's no way you're beating GTA, but I see what you're trying to do, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they'll get some awards. Like maybe even like it could be music, it could be graphics or something. They'll get something next year for sure.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you guys though. With Indiana Jones coming out and doing so well, do you think then that this year, 2024, was better than Xbox's 2023?
Was better than Xbox's 2023.
Because they had Hellblade 2, they had Ara History Untold, they have Flight Simulator, they had Stalker 2, and they have Indiana Jones. Like those are pretty big titles. And if you want to look at it from the Game Pass angle as well, you had the biggest game, Palworld. I mean, you could actually throw Palworld in there because that was a timed exclusive, but it was actually a long time exclusive, at least in comparison to Wukong, which I think is gonna probably drop this year for Xbox. So Palworld, Ara History Untold, Hellblade 2, Indiana Jones, and Stalker 2. Is that better than 2023's Xbox?
What even happened in 2023? I don't remember.
Hi-Fi Rush and Starfield, wasn't it?
Dude, come on. Starfield. No. This year has not been better than.
But if you think about it, Indiana Jones's Metacritic is 87 and it's universally praised. Like there's no one saying this game sucks. Whereas with Starfield, it's 83 and everyone was like mixed bag about it. Like from an image point of view, not from sales or Game Pass sales or whatever, just from an image point of view, Indiana Jones is objectively seen as a better game. And then you have Stalker 2, which sold millions. Then you have Palworld, which sold millions and brought in Game Pass subscribers, I'm guessing, right? And then you have, I think you had some issues with Flight Simulator 2, but still a big game. Ara History Untold, okay game. But I think if you take that package as a whole, I'm really struggling to say 2024 isn't better than 2023 because the only real highlight in 2023 was Starfield, and that was inconsistent for some people.
Richie says Hi-Fi Rush is the highest rated Xbox game. I cannot confirm that. But it was pretty highly rated.
No, I can't. I can say it's not because Forza was.
Forza was the highest rated.
Forza is higher rated than, and it kept its rating. Hi-Fi Rush went up high and then dropped into the 80s, I believe. I think it ended up at like an 88 or 89.
Hi-Fi Rush is 87.
Hi-Fi Rush, okay. So, but I believe Horizon is 94, I believe still. It's either 94 or 92, one of the two. I can't understand.
Yeah, you're right. It's 92.
So yeah, there you go.
All right, but still, you guys think 2024 is better than 2023?
No, I think 2024 is better than 2023 in the sense of just like the aura around Xbox. Like bro, like 2023, it was like, are you gonna get Activision Blizzard? Oh my god, fucking Redfall, damn it. 30 FPS on Starfield. Like it was just like, it was as much as there was good, there was like the bad with it, right? Compared to 2024, it's just kind of been like the only thing it's been is like maybe a more waiting periods than we'd like, right? So the waiting period between the beginning of the year to Hellblade was too long. And then between Hellblade to what was it, like Call of Duty, pretty much? Am I wrong?
Pretty much, yeah.
Like that's too long of a wait. Like to have 5 games drop this year, it felt like 3 different times this year that they actually dropped games. It felt like May, October, November. That's what it felt like this year, right? Even though there was a lot of games in those months, and then there's also Game Pass and stuff like that. Like I could see how some people looked at this year and was like, there wasn't. It felt like stretched out and long to some people, but I agree with Taye because I believe that's what you said is you think 2024 is better, right?
Yeah, better.
I agree with that because there's not like there was a lot of positivity this year for Xbox. I mean, there was some negativity that some people didn't like, but that was more of a like you're either with us or fuck you, right? That's kind of some of the stuff that they kind of did this year was like, yo, we're doing this. Do you like it or not? Oh, you don't like it? Well, kick rocks or whatever. And some people took that as Xbox is having a bad year when they're not. Right? They had Power World at the start of the year that crushed it. Hellblade, whether you like it or not, it came out to good reviews and it made it to the award show, which kind of felt like the purpose of that game, really, because I don't think anybody thought that it was gonna sell crazy. But people did think that, man, that performance is epic, and Melina Juergens does a phenomenal job. So we're excited to see how you come around with that towards when it comes to the Game Awards. And then, they kind of, got onto that Activision horse and just rode that into the sunset with Call of Duty starting in the summer with Modern Warfare 3 being brought into Game Pass. And then obviously in the fall with Black Ops 6 being launched everywhere and being as big of a success as it is. And then now we're seeing Indiana Jones and Flight Sim and these other things, and they got some dope announcements.
Even Vessel of Hatred, Diablo, the expansion came out this year as well, right? And that was received pretty well, 84 Metacritic. But even to the point, when we think about Starfield brought in, it was actually Matt Booty announced that Diablo going on Game Pass. Was Game Pass's biggest launch. So I think it probably overdid Starfield even, right? And that's 2024 right there. So you have that as well. And then you have a situation where, Xbox is looking at Game Pass subscriber numbers from a Starfield perspective. And it did good. It did okay. They were happy with it or whatever. But from what we understand, Call of Duty blew it out the water.
Right.
And he also made money as well. Like, I think even from a financial point of view, Xbox they did really well 2024 because
they printed money this year.
Yeah, like even Power has 20+ million players. That was an exclusive. How do you get a game that has kind of captured the zeitgeist with no one even knowing? It's on your subscription service. 20 to 25 million players. That's huge. I don't know if Nintendo does that. I don't know if PlayStation gets that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to see a way that 2023 could be better. And the only thing that pops to mind is Hi-Fi Rush and Starfield. But I think those are the only two notable points. I even go further. Persona 3 Remake, which is highly rated, was a Game Pass exclusive game. Sorry, it was a Game Pass launch as well, like day one, right? And even as small or silly as this may be, may seem, Metaphor was Xbox marketing. That's huge as well, and that's one of the biggest games of the year. So yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to see how 2023 was better than 2024.
Starfield solos everything you just said. That's all.
Fair enough.
I mean, if we're talking just from a personal standpoint, I'd still probably go 2023. If we're talking how successful Microsoft has been, Xbox has been, then it's 2024.
Yeah, easily, man. They're out of the news and the negative way when it comes to acquiring Bethesda, right? It's already done, and they're making stupid money off of that. Like Ty said, they're printing money pretty much with Call of Duty. So I mean, to be honest, that's why I said earlier what I said. They came out with some of these games as recently. I said all of what I said earlier without even bringing Call of Duty into the conversation, which is crazy. So like, this train is looking mighty tough. I'm just saying, this thing is chugging.
Oh man, you also got like Genshin Impact launching on the service this year.
Oh, I
Finally,
forgot all about that
I
shit.
didn't know that.
And keep in mind, Tae, that you're mentioning that. It's crazy because in Genshin Impact right now is Jeff Keighley named it
Mhm.
as one of the top 5 nominated games coming to the Player's Choice
Exactly. Yeah.
piece of the Game Awards,
Mhm.
right? And it's gonna be at this fucking place saying, "Hey, we're on Xbox."
Exactly. And there's rumors that even 770 is coming on Xbox too as well before Honkai, and that's another big game as well. And listen, not even from a competitive standpoint, but Xbox had Redfall last year, which was bad, but Sony had Concord this year. Like, I mean, Phil's probably like giggling, laughing to himself, saying like, "Yeah, you guys really do suck." Like everyone's pointing at us, but like we did Redfall, but you actually drummed something that's way worse than that. So even from a narrative point of view, Xbox wasn't really seen as a company that dropped a bomb this year. That was Sony. I don't know. This just looks like a pretty good year.
If we're going to bring in Sony, then Sony didn't drop a bomb.
Concord wasn't a bomb?
Sony dropped the biggest bomb of all time.
Yeah.
He said the Moab.
Yeah. The Concord will go down in the history of gaming. Like, you won't be able to tell the story of video games 50 years from now without bringing Concord. The same Concord's at the same level as Tetris. All right? And Mario, but on the negative side. So I just wanted to make that very clear on this side. But
I mean, you don't get it. I don't know what video game ever came out with a whole ass episode in a TV show after it died. That's special.
all right.
That's
All right.
crazy.
Whoa.
Like, it's just thinking about that is like just nuts. Like, how you got a show and you fired?
I was gonna say one more point. Xbox had probably one of their best ever showcases this year as well. Just to add
That
to that.
showcase
That was the best showcase I've seen.
ever.
Yeah, period.
Yeah, with E-Day and everything.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really struggled to see how this year was better than the last year. I do get Ham's point in terms of like obviously video
Starfield,
game preference.
Solos, everything.
No, that was Matt.
That was Luke. Well, that was
Ty.
me and Luke.
Ty,
What's up?
I'll say it. Starfield, Solos, everything with one hand tied behind its metaphorical back.
You're high, Luke. I'm sorry, bro. I love Starfield, and I gave it the game of the year last year. But I'm gonna tell you right now that you need to settle down.
I fucking hate Starfield, but I love it as well. And what I'm saying is, I'm with Matt on this one. On a personal level, and this is how I normally look at these games and whatever's. It's like I do own like 4 stocks.
You sound like
in
one of them
Microsoft.
motherfuckers that be like, Trump ain't my president.
Get the
Like,
fuck
all
out of
right.
here.
All right. Well,
Ham,
okay. We're
Ham,
living
I
there.
do-
I didn't know that.
I do own a couple of stocks in Microsoft, but I don't own enough. I don't own enough to be that invested in their profits. Okay, so for me, my focus is on exactly what Matt said. On a personal level, what was it? 2024, 2023. For me, definitely 2023. Because Starfield, and like I said at the beginning of the show, I see in some Indiana Jones. It's alright. It's good. It's good, but it's not my
Shut up.
jam. It's not my jam, as witnessed by anyone that will go and check my gamer score on any of the Dishonored games. I'm not saying those games are crap, but
Better not be.
I can look at them and be like, that's not for me. But
I
objectively
don't know
speaking,
how you don't like stealth games that much when your favorite game is literally a stealth game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
That
Yeah,
is
But God bless. God bless, though.
insane.
the Dishonored games, for some reason, those ones didn't click for me. Like I love Hitman, the game that people are paying super chats for me not to mention, etc. Right? But for me, the Dishonored games didn't click. And Indiana Jones, if I do finish it, I guess it's more approachable than the Dishonored games from my point of view. But objectively speaking, it's great. All I'm saying is Starfield, for me, Starfield, solos, all of that, including Call of Duty. Because I hopped on Call of Duty, I played that campaign. The campaign for Black Ops 6 is exceptional. If anyone hasn't played it, please go and play it. It's 10, 12 hours. Excellent, excellent campaign. The multiplayer, I played zombies for like 2 weeks. I no lifed it. It was crazy. I had to uninstall it so I could move on with my life. Cool, 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 cool. But Starfield is motherfucking Starfield. All right, that is an excellent game, barring the wonky ass um, loading screens every 5 seconds and all the other stuff that I've already complained about ad nauseum. That's why, for me personally, to this specific question, 2023, even if you remove Hi-Fi Rush, just tell me the year that Starfield launched, and that's the year that wins. Diego de los Rios says, and yet we get your games on PS5. Diego, these games don't belong to anyone. Not anyone in the chat, not you, not us. These games belong to the publishers and people just get to play them. No one owns these games.
Yeah, let me
Chill,
tell
bro.
you playing
Chill.
you playing what I'm playing right now on PS5 in a couple of months does not bother me. I do not care. I say enjoy it. Have fun.
That comment was hilarious. It was really funny.
This ain't it, bruv. I'm sorry. I know there's lots of podcasts that are all about console warring. But here we have our feet firmly planted on the ground. None of us
Let me
gets
answer. Let me
Oh
say
my
one thing real
God.
quick.
Oh my
Let me say
God.
one thing real quick. It's not even that crazy. The thing I wanted to say was the competitive side of me is like, to hell with you. The the opportunity of getting a new game because you're purchasing it over there while I play it on a subscription service, I like them odds. So sure, buy it for $70 so I can play it for $20. Keep doing that.
What the fuck was that laugh? What was that?
Keep
Oh my
doing it.
God.
Keep
You
doing
sound
it.
like a villain. You sound like a villain. Oh my God.
I kind of feel like one sometimes. Sometimes, like when I downloaded, when I got home yesterday from work and I sat on my couch and I was like, oh crap, I forgot Indiana Jones came out today. And I downloaded it on my Xbox and I went and downloaded it on my PC. And then I sat back down and I was like, man, I kind of feel like I'm stealing this shit. It just came the fuck out. It just came out. I literally just beat Stalker. Literally just got done playing the hell out of Flight Sim the week prior to that. And I'm just like, man, this is kind of crazy. Like to think about.
Because you're just paying a subscription and you're
It is.
getting
It is. And he says enjoy your rental. Bro, like I can buy it too. I have that option that you still have as well.
Yeah, you can still
Like in fact, I get to buy it for cheaper than you do too.
Dude, people have this energy
That's
online about the
wild.
whole
Like that. I don't see where your gotcha moment is, bro. Like I'm trying. Like help me figure out where the gotcha is. Ty, maybe you could help me figure out where is the gotcha.
Listen, I have a friend, and he said something similar, like, "Oh, renting games." I'm like, bro, like you used to rent games when you were younger. Like it wasn't a big deal back then. Now all of a sudden, it's a problem. I don't get these people. It's completely silly.
There's a mentality online that just It's not even fun to entertain anymore. And I mean, it's that. It's like, dude, I've been subscribed to Game Pass for shit since what, 2018, 19. I mean, I know what it is. I still buy games. I'm gonna buy Indiana Jones. I was talking to him uh last night. I said, like, I mean, shit, Christmas is coming up. I'll probably treat myself to Indiana Jones and I'll buy it on Steam because I can sign in to my Microsoft account and have my cloud save across all the platforms. So
No,
I'll
no, no.
still buy the game.
I want to throw this out there. I want to put him on the screen while I got him right here.
Oh my god.
I want to let people know that saying I get everything is not a flex. Saying no. People need to know. Saying I get everything is not a flex. That says I'm gullible.
Oh my god.
That's what it says is I'm gullible. I buy shit without thinking.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I'm saying. I buy. Why? Why do you buy everything? Nobody does that. Nobody does. I'm renting a home right now in the process of building. And I tell you what, I'm happy I didn't buy a home first. If I bought a home first, that would have been one of the dumbest decisions I've ever made. Everybody needs to try before they buy. That's how they learn.
Oh
Some
my
things you jump in the water for, but not everything, bro. Not everything. Saying I buy everything, I hate it when people say that like it's like everybody should be doing that too. No. There's a reason there's options. Now you're saying options, dude. No, you weren't saying that either. You just weren't saying options. You weren't saying, oh, dude, options. No, you weren't. You're saying buy it. Just buy it. Why are you doing that? Buy it. So I just had to let everybody know what I thought about your silly statement right there. Just saying, just buy, bro, stop it.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
Loki
hey,
had just went and bought Indiana Jones, that would have been $70 wasted for him because he doesn't love it.
Yeah.
also
That's a
go
good
buy
point, Ham. That's
go
a good
buy
point.
Indiana Jones.
I don't hate Indiana Jones personally, but I'm happy that I have Game Pass so I could sample it and see it like, all right, so I'll make time for this maybe next year or the year after because it's an Xbox game, so it's gonna be on Game Pass forever. So I'm going to play it whenever. But for now, let me just finish Phantom Liberty. You know? I that's
Phantom
the
Liberty's so
that's
good.
the use for Game Pass as far as I'm concerned. But oh my god, Ham, Matt, and Ty, and also Diego de los Rios. I kind of gave up on this whole thing about, oh, I buy it so it's mine or whatever. Especially when the lawsuit came down, and California forced Steam and now almost every launcher to tell people that you're not actually buying these games. If you check the terms and conditions now, you're not buying anything. You don't own anything. If you want to own, the only people that actually own their games is the people on Steam. Oh, sorry, the people on GOG and the people on Pirate Bay. They're the ones who have something and it's theirs and they can do whatever they want with it. Everyone else is paying for access to these IP and it can be revoked, canceled, etc., etc. You don't actually own anything. So for me, when that thing came down and we read that article, we had the whole episode, we checked the terms and conditions. That's when I was like, all right, dude, whatever, dog. It's done. It's over. This whole conversation of owning, it's like, bro, sit the fuck down. Sit down. Unless we're going to have a disingenuous conversation. And if that's the idea, then I'm not gonna engage. I'm just gonna let Ham keep cooking you, Diego.
I mean, the
That's
same
all I'm
people
gonna
that be
do.
like, "Oh, own this shit," are the same people tuning in here in a couple months to watch The Last of Us on fucking HBO. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You don't own that. You're not gonna wait until it comes out to Best Buy, are you? Fuck out of here. Like, I ain't got time for that. Stupid.
Mental said, our elderly statesman says you simply have a license that allows you to play it. The license can be, essentially that's
Yep.
what the whole lawsuit was, and it's gaming wide, and it's like, bro, come on. So what are we going to sit here and pretend that that's not what's actually happened? That's not what the courts have ruled, and now everyone's adjusting to fit into that box to make sure that they don't get sued. Come on. Did you see the alleged CEO? Oh my god, Fuzzy, settle down. Where were we? Jeez, I even lost like where we were at in the whole conversation. Diego, the least you can do, Diego, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this out. All right,
Yeah,
and then
share this to loved one.
and then bring better arguments on Wednesday, because we have a podcast on Wednesday. Go ahead, Ty.
I was gonna say, I think the last thing we were saying was you were saying how Starfield makes the year regardless of what other games came out.
No, that was just for me. I'm not even talking about like objectively, because objectively I can see the point. I concede the point. I'm not like like other people who will die on a dumbass hill. I'm not gonna die on it.
He wasn't trying to convince you. He was just reminding you of what you're.
Yeah, I was just reminding you.
Yeah, no. I'm actually going back to my point. That's what I was going to say until Diego derailed the whole thing. For me personally, 2023.
Thanks, Diego. I like going back and forth. I'm hoping I didn't get under your skin or offend anything. This is what we do.
He seems all right. He seems all right.
We're just talking, having a good time.
All right. So I was saying that for me personally, and if you guys noticed before we derailed, I was being very specific, saying that it was for me personally. For me personally, whatever year Starfield came out, this gen, that was the one. And I was very specific about that, because I was going to lead into saying, if we're talking just objectively, like take your emotions out, the same way indie, for me personally, indie is like a 6 out of 10. But objectively speaking, if I take my emotions out, I agree with IGN, it's a 9 out of 10. And if I take my emotions out in terms of the years, comparisons, whatever, all your points are valid, Ty. Definitely. 2024.
Diego said the show is engaging.
What? Oh yeah, I did say. Cheers.
I
Hey,
appreciate
man.
it, Diego. That's funny.
God bless.
That's the point.
Yes, that is the point, though.
Yeah,
Hey,
that is the point.
if people came here to hear a sermon, they came to the wrong motherfucking place.
Man. Anyway,
Everybody take a seat.
yeah. So yeah, Ty, definitely 2024, objectively speaking, was a better year for Xbox than 2023. I hope that answers your question.
That YOY is looking nasty, probably, bro. I'm just saying.
The what?
That YOY year over year.
Oh yeah. It's looking crazy. What the hell? Oh,
Do you
go to
guys
the
think they
Vatican in
announced-
India. Oh my god.
Do you guys think
Yeah.
they dare to announce any Game Pass numbers for next year?
I don't think we're ever getting Game Pass numbers again.
I think we will. I'm not sure if it'll be next year or if it'll be like at the end of the generation.
Generation.
I
The
feel
end
like
of the
it'd
gen
be-
makes more sense. to me.
I was gonna say I feel like it'd be at the end of the generation, just to kind of be able to kind of do a progress report of how they did, and then move on to the next one.
I actually think there's if they when they get Game Pass on Steam, I think that's when they'll probably be willing to announce it, because I think they probably predict high numbers of sales coming through. Because I mean, you can see a situation where, like, hey, you're on Indiana Jones, and then whatever do they have is Steam. As soon as you hover over Indiana Jones, it says play with Game Pass, maybe the bottom right corner. You click it, and then you can, sign in, subscribe, whatever it is. But I think they might get a push in terms of subscriptions on Steam. So I would say hold off on it. Don't announce anything yet. So when you do finally announce it, it should be, yeah, at least you're hoping it's going to be large numbers, which would make shareholders happy, and it would kind of like shut everyone up, like, hey, Game Pass is failing or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't think they will announce them. I don't think they will announce. They seem to be done with that. Oh, you know what? Maybe at the end of the financial year. I think that's more probable than at the end of the generation.
Yeah, that's possible as well.
Just like what they do with the Windows install base. They don't announce that all the time, but at the end of the financial year, when they're doing the shareholder meeting, whatever, that's when they come out and they're like, all right, so 4 billion people or 3.5 billion people on Windows, X amount are using the paid version, X amount are using Office or whatever, because that shareholders need to know that, right? And people that want to invest or whatever. I think that's the only time we're going to hear about Game Pass, not like end of the gen or whatever. But we're all guessing. We're all guessing. Speaking of guessing, I did highlight a specific comment here to that point. Where is it? Where? Okay, here it is. Here it is. We were talking about like the like id. We're talking about creation engine, etc., etc. And then Sapo said no one in here develops games, assuming it's whatever issues without proper context is reaching at best. I thought this was an interesting comment. Does anyone want to respond to it?
I mean, he's right. I don't develop games. I don't have a game. I'm just as someone who observes. I play a lot of games and whatnot. I'm not going to pretend that I know the game development, but like you see a pretty consistent pattern of games on Unreal Engine having the same issues. So, just logic tells you that there's probably something going on in Unreal Engine. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's, as Matt says, you see a pattern, but you also listen to maybe interviews with developers. You listen to the technical part of things. Like everything I said about, the creation engine, these were developers, these were people who've worked with different engines, these were people who work at Bethesda. This was a leak as well from Jason Schreier. That like one of the reasons why they haven't moved to a different engine is because of these reasons I stated. So I don't have first hand knowledge, but I have second hand knowledge. So like, I guess what we're trying to say is that everything we're seeing here are educated guesses, which are the best we can do, because we're not developers. But that's enough. Educated guesses are like good enough, and you can disagree 100%, and you can say we're reaching, but then you should have some kind of counter as well to say like, okay, well, actually, you're wrong here, you're wrong there. But I don't know, like that's the best like anyone can do in this situation.
Yeah.
Ham, anything you want to add there before we maybe end the pod, because it's going to be a short one today.
No, that's it.
A short one.
Yeah, we're at the end of the episode. I just thought this was interesting because of what
2 hours, buddy.
what Ty what Ty alluded. Usually Mondays we have like 3 to 4 hour podcasts.
Oh,
That's what happens on Mondays.
Tell you what, I love you guys, but that's probably why I'm not here on Mondays. Because of that.
You know what, Matt? Let me entice you.
Sure, you can try.
You can come on for the 2 hours or even for the 1 hour that you have time for, and then bounce. There's no obligation. I will not dock your salary. I promise.
Yeah.
All right. Like the amount that
millions of dollars.
TSWS pays you, we're not gonna dock you if you leave early. Okay.
And still get my pension.
Pretty much. Yeah, but I just wanted to add real quick to Sapo's comment is if we're to follow this questioning on, oh, you guys don't have the experience in this and that, then we can't talk about anything. We would have to shut up shop, like just turn off TSWS and never say anything again. I'd probably have to shut down my Twitter. Everyone would have to just shut up and only speak about things that they're intimately knowledgeable on, and it wouldn't work out. It wouldn't work out. So I think maybe that vision needs to be a bit revised, not just on TSWS, but on anyone that has any opinion. Because I think in the moment it feels cool, but if you really dig into it, it doesn't end anywhere like good, in my opinion. So yeah, before we hop off the pod today, Matt, please plug your stuff. Tell people where they can find you and what you're
No.
up to.
Yeah, man. You can find me on YouTube. Matt Likes Games. Videos every week over there. Podcasts every week. I know tonight we're not doing a show because my buddy Mike is not feeling up to it particularly. So we're going to be taking a break tonight. But Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern is the almost said L3L3 podcast because I'm used to saying that first. It's a two-player podcast with my buddy Ham Solar right here and myself. So check that out Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Normally, Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern is the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. So you can look forward to that probably next week. And then, like I said, videos every week there on the channel, and that's where you can find me.
Tuan refuses to follow me back on Twitter. I don't know what I did to him.
Twan's a weird guy. Don't take any.
I don't know.
I don't entirely believe Twan knows how to use Twitter. I'm not entirely convinced he knows how to use Twitter or any social media for that matter.
Right.
So don't take offense to that.
All right. I'm less in pain. Ty, plug your stuff. Tell people where they can find you and what you're up to.
You guys can find me at Taya Talks, TAYETATALKS on Twitter and YouTube. In terms of what I'm doing next, video wise, nothing really. I think I just want to play Metaphor. I've gone to some interesting parts. So, like, when I'm not playing that game, I'm either watching something or whatever. So, I really want to focus on it and get a good chunk of it done. I want to finish the game before the end of the year, put it that way. So, but I might make a few videos here and there. Just depends if if the mood hits. I am still considering making that. Well, not considering. I still will make that Starfield video in relation to, how things could have been different if they just changed certain elements of the game. But that video will probably come out early next year or so. And that's it.
All right. Hamothy?
Yo, thanks everybody for sliding through. Sorry I was late today. Had some shit I needed to do. I'm getting prepared to go to LA here on Thursday early in the morning. So I got some things I need to get taken care of around, not just around the house, but also like some doctor's things. And, I'm only going to be gone for a day, but I'm only going to be gone for a day, which is kind of crazy to say that I'm getting so prepared, but it's just that day is going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot going on. I'm pretty stoked that Snoop Dogg is going to be at the Game Awards. That's going to be fun to see.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm going to be seeing Lemon. He's going to be out there at the Game Awards. I'm going to be hanging out with him in 100. Probably see Paris, Lily, and shit like that. So I'm happy to go see the people. I'm also looking forward to seeing Hip Hop Gamer as well while I'm out there. It'll be that should be a good time. He's always got a lot of energy. But the next time I'll be here to do a show will be with Loke here on Wednesday to do the lowdown, where we'll talk about some stuff leading up to the Game Awards, some of the stuff that they've been talking about, and hopefully some more news around gaming. But yeah, that's really all that I got to say. I do know that next Thursday, I'm obviously going to be out of town this Thursday for the Game Awards, which I will be covering and sharing stuff about that from my from the glasses that I recently purchased. I purchased some Ray-Ban Meta glasses where I can record up to a minute from like my point of view, which is pretty nuts. That will be dope. But the week after, next Thursday, I do have one of the Iron Lords coming through for an episode. King David will be coming through to talk about Xbox with me on next Thursday's show, Xbox versus the Gamer. So Diego, if you want to come through, show some disrespect, that'd be great. I'm sure me and King would have no problem, handling, standing on business. Why you over here trying to hate? It's all good. But for real, I appreciate everybody for sliding through. I like the disagreements. I like learning where you guys stand, so we can all have a better understanding of each other, and then we can know what to recommend each other and shit like that moving forward. We can all like different things, but work together. So it's all good.
Man, are you more excited for the Game Awards, or were you more excited for the who am I going blank now? The European Showcase. Damn, what's it called? Gamescom.
Like next year's Xbox thing, or
weren't you at Gamescom this year?
No, I went to PAX.
Okay, my bad.
PAX in Boston. I'm definitely more excited for the Game Awards.
Okay. It's gonna be your first time there, right?
Nope.
What'd you ask, Ty?
It's gonna be your first time there.
Yeah, it'll be my first time there.
Okay, that's pretty cool, man.
All right. So we come to the end of the show. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you on Wednesday. I won't be doing a stream tomorrow because we are coming to the end of the year, and it's wild. It's wild. Thanks everyone in the chat, especially Diego.
I might do something tomorrow. Since Loke is gonna leave it open. I ain't got shit to do, and I might hop on and talk about something. So look out for that. But there's a possibility they ain't gonna be shit. So if they ain't gonna be shit, then it just is what it is.
All right, y'all have a good one. Ciao.
Oh damn, Mental called you a lazy ass Texan. Gotcha.
Yeehaw!
Get him.